statistically significant for sure, right? The p-values are pretty high, right? And so probably statistically significant on the 1% level. So that looks fine. And now we are starting to use this model to allocate money to the remaining members of the EU and see what's happening there. Oh. All right. Yeah, so what is a good sign? If we would allocate according to the model, the budget would be cut by around 11%, which is good, right? Because the point was that if UK is leaving, if after Brexit we have a smaller, the budget would be less, and would be around 11% less. So allocating according to the model would also deliver this percentage. Now you have winners and losers, of course. Here it is, winners and losers, according to the budget. Well, a big winner, according to the model, the biggest one by far is Bulgaria. How come? Why is it such that Bulgaria would have so much money from the structural funds, according to the model again? Well, that is probably because the Bulgarian economy used to have a very low absorption capacity. It was in the period 2014-2020 not able to absorb all the funding that was available to them. Just too few projects. They couldn't handle the amount of money they were entitled to receive. Probably that will change in the period to come, right? The same we saw, by the way, also in after 2004, right, when the EU was extended by many countries, and at that time we saw the same phenomena also in Hungary and in Poland. The absorption capacity was very low. But that problem has been solved, as we saw in Poland, right, but also in Hungary. So, well, other winners, well, we don't take them too seriously. The Netherlands would be a winner, for example, but we know there are almost no regions in the Netherlands that fulfill the rules that the average income is lower than 75% of the average of the EU. So there are almost no eligible regions. The same goes for Denmark, right? In fact, the model is wrong there. I have to do some work on the model such that these countries get a much lower. And Austria the same, Belgium, right? All these so-called winners, according to the model, they should be eliminated. And I have to think of another variable that would explain that. But Bulgaria, for sure, I think that is something that makes sense. All right. Yeah. Well, that is what I was planning to tell you. Right. Thank you very much for your attention. And fire away with your questions.
Thank you very much, Wim. It was a very interesting presentation. As an economist, you immediately raise the model. Even the model doesn't work perfectly, who cares, but it's a very good model. It is impossible to use in practice because not available for structural reforms from Netherlands, Belgium, and then I mentioned other countries. But if you make some kind of modification, probably it will be worse. It's funny for me that even nowadays the structural reform, the biggest goes to the Poland. But I didn't look, what is the Poland situation in your calculation? Poland.
Poland. Yeah, let's take a look.
That's their one.
Oh, here, yeah, they would get something less.
Losers.
And they are losing some of the money.
Big change.
Doesn't seem very serious.
Yes, and that's
And
why
I have to say something about the model. You know, if the model and practice disagree, I would say Well, it's a pity for practice, right?
Modern is excellent, the practice. Okay, it is possible to ask question, Professor Wilheimer. Yes, Bruce?
I was wondering, so I didn't follow exactly, so these, the winners and losers are relative to the prior period?
Exactly. So we had an allocation 2014, 2020, and this is in fact predicting the allocation in the period that follows.
How does the Brexit impact then?
The UK allocation has been taken out of the budget, right? But you don't, you just do not do the computation for the UK, and you leave the UK out.
So I guess intuitively I was expecting kind of net losses because of the 10% less.
Yeah, this, in fact, what you do is, if you take the model, you start allocating on the basis of the model, right? And then you see the total expenditure, and it appears to be that this total expenditure is something like 11% less than in the period 2014-2020. But it is quite, I mean, it was not aimed for that, right? But it worked out that way.
Thank you. Question and answer as well. Other questions? Maybe in the white table. Thank you very much, Wim. Robert will be accounting that kind of fantastic model, but we have to modify. If the answer is the minus, the country that became positive, I don't know. That's to modify your model. Thank you.